Welcome back to Powerful Stoic Habits. Have you ever felt completely ignored by someone you care about, and you're left wondering what to do next? It's a tricky situation, right? But what if I told you there's a smart Stoic way to handle it that can actually strengthen your relationships? Today, we're uncovering some golden advice on how to act when someone decides to give you the silent treatment. Stick around, because each principle we share is packed with insights you won't want to miss. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This quote is incredibly relevant here because it reminds us that we should strive to rise above the negative actions of others. Instead of reacting with hurt or anger, we maintain our composure and integrity, showing that we won't stoop to their level. Before we dive in, do me a small favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to join our amazing community, and drop a comment below with "I rise above." This comment will be our mantra as we go through each point, reinforcing our commitment to handle these situations with grace and strength. So please comment, as this helps YouTube know that more people like you need to hear this. Ready to turn this around? Let's get started. Principle 1. Embrace indifference to external opinion. Ever felt like you're at the mercy of someone else's mood swings? It's like being a puppet on a string, right? Well, it's time to cut those strings and dance to your own tune. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This quote is a powerful reminder that we control our reactions, not the external events or opinions of others. Imagine your partner gives you the cold shoulder out of the blue. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, remind yourself, "I rise above." This doesn't mean you don't care about their feelings, but you're choosing not to let their mood dictate your peace. It's about acknowledging the situation, maybe with a light-hearted comment like, "Looks like someone's turned on their invisible mode," and then giving them space while you continue with your day, unaffected and with a smile. This practice of emotional independence doesn't just help in keeping your cool, it transforms how you interact in all your relationships. You become less reactive and more centered, a person who sails smoothly even when others might try to rock the boat. So next time you find yourself being ignored or faced with a moody partner, remember Aurelius's wisdom. Detach from the drama, keep your peace intact, and cheerfully affirm, "I rise above." After all, it's your peace, and no one should have the remote control to that except you. Principle 2. Reflect on the nature of relationships. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe not every relationship is meant to be in the VIP section of your life? Sometimes we hold on tightly to relationships that don't actually serve us well, much like keeping expired milk in the fridge, hoping it won't spoil your coffee. It just doesn't make sense. As the insightful Greek philosopher Plato once mused, "Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet." This quote beautifully highlights the reciprocal nature of healthy relationships. But what if the other heart doesn't whisper back? It's an invitation to reassess. Perhaps it's a friend who's become distant, or a partner who seems disinterested. Use this as an opportunity to reflect. Is this relationship providing the harmony Plato described, or has the song gone a bit off-key? In practice, this might mean having a candid chat over a cup of coffee where you can say, "Hey, I've noticed we're out of tune. What's up?" It's not about placing blame, but understanding whether you both want to tune back in or if it's time to change the playlist. This approach keeps things light yet direct, addressing the gap without creating drama. So remember, folks, relationships are a two-way street. If you find yourself walking alone too often, it might be time to consider if this path is still right for you. Reflect on the quality and reciprocity of your connections, and don't be afraid to ask if you both still enjoy the same song. And as we say on this journey, I rise above clinging to what no longer serves us, always ready to find a new harmony in relationships that truly resonate. Principle 3. Cultivate self-sufficiency. Isn't it curious how we often expect others to be the architects of our happiness, like waiting for someone else to paint the colors of our mood each day? Talk about giving away the paintbrush. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This quote is a powerful call to reclaim our paintbrush and color our own days with shades of joy and contentment. Imagine you're planning a romantic dinner, hoping it will fix a rough patch in your relationship. But what if your partner isn't as enthusiastic as you hoped? Instead of letting disappointment cloud the evening, take a moment to enjoy your own company and the effort you put into the setup. Crack a joke like, "Well, I guess I made enough delicious pasta to solve world hunger tonight." This shows you can find humor and happiness, even if the evening didn't go as planned. Cultivating self-sufficiency means finding fulfillment within ourselves instead of relying solely on others to provide it. It's about enjoying that pasta dish on your own if need be, appreciating your own effort, and knowing that your happiness doesn't hinge on someone else's reactions. So let's tighten our grip on that paintbrush, friends. Whether it's in relationships or life's other arenas, remember that self-sufficiency is your secret weapon. It allows you to navigate ups and downs with grace and a bit of humor. And whenever you find yourself slipping into dependency, gently remind yourself, I rise above and take back control over your happiness. After all, the best chef in the house of happiness is you. Principle 4. Use the obstacle as the way. Ever noticed how sometimes the very thing that annoys us in relationships is actually the key to personal growth? It's like when you're trying to navigate through a traffic jam and you realize it's the perfect time to catch up on that audiobook. The Stoic philosopher Ryan Holiday beautifully encapsulates this with his interpretation. The obstacle is the way. This idea challenges us to transform obstacles into opportunities, turning what might seem like relationship roadblocks into pathways for development. Take, for instance, when your significant other forgets something important to you, like an anniversary. Instead of seeing it as a failure on their part, view it as a chance to communicate your feelings and set expectations for the future. You might even throw in a lighthearted comment like, "Guess we're both getting a bit too seasoned to remember dates, huh? Maybe it's time for that giant calendar I saw at the mall." This approach uses humor to address the issue while opening the door for constructive dialogue. Using the obstacle as the way means looking for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. It encourages us to ask, how can this improve our relationship? Or, what can I learn from this situation? This perspective not only deepens our understanding, but also enhances our resilience and empathy within the relationship. So let's embrace each challenge as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Remember, every difficult moment in a relationship is an opportunity to practice patience, improve communication, and strengthen bonds. And as we navigate these challenges, let's keep our mantra close to heart, I rise above. By doing so, we rise above the petty issues and see the bigger picture of personal growth and mutual understanding. Principle 5. Practice forgiveness. When someone ignores you, or there's a misstep in communication within a relationship, the initial reaction might be frustration or resentment. But what if we treated these moments as invitations to practice one of the most liberating Stoic principles, forgiveness? As the insightful Alexander Pope once penned, "To err is human, to forgive divine." This quote isn't just poetic, it's practical, emphasizing that forgiveness is an elevated, almost sacred act that frees us from the burdens of bitterness and anger. Imagine your partner forgets to call when they're running late. Instead of letting irritation take the wheel, consider a forgiving approach. Maybe make a light joke when they arrive, like, "Well, I was about to send a search party, but I guess you saved them the trouble." This humor not only diffuses tension, but also opens a space for understanding and reassurance without holding grudges. Forgiveness in relationships isn't about ignoring mistakes or poor behavior. It's about choosing to not let these hiccups derail the entire journey together. It means acknowledging the mishap, discussing ways to avoid similar issues in the future, and then genuinely letting go. This not only cultivates a nurturing environment for personal and mutual growth, but also deepens trust and respect between partners. So, friends, let's choose to practice forgiveness actively. Each time we opt to forgive, we reinforce our own peace and reaffirm our commitment to harmony in our relationships. Remember, every act of forgiveness is a step towards a more compassionate and resilient partnership. And as we forgive, we rise, echoing our mantra, "I rise above the fleeting disputes to the heights of grace and understanding." And with this, we have crossed the halfway mark of our video. If you're still with us, it means this content resonates with you, and that's fantastic. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you could take a moment to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and leave a little comment. Simply drop our mantra for today, "I rise above," in the comments. This lets us know that you're finding value in what we're sharing and are on this journey of growth and resilience with us. Now, let's proceed to the next principle, one you definitely won't want to miss. Principle 6. Trust your inner voice. When you're being ignored, it's a critical time to lean into your intuition, your inner voice. This guiding force can often tell you more about the situation than surface actions or words. And as Shakespeare famously wrote, "Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string." This quote reminds us of the importance of trusting our own senses and judgments, even when external validation is lacking. Imagine you're in a scenario where someone you care about has suddenly become distant. Instead of spiraling into worry or constructing narratives in your mind, pause and consult your inner feelings. How has this person's behavior pattern been? Is their silence out of character? Your intuition might help you discern if they're just caught up in their own issues, or if the silence signifies something about your relationship. Trusting your inner voice means listening deeply to your own emotions and thoughts before reacting. Maybe that voice suggests giving the person some space, or perhaps it nudges you to reach out and ask if everything is okay. For instance, you could send a light, humorous message, "Hey, just checking if you've been abducted by aliens since you've been unusually quiet. Everything cool?" Remember, your intuition is a powerful ally in navigating relational dynamics, especially when communication isn't as straightforward. So trust that internal compass. It might not always lead you to immediate answers, but it will guide you to respond in ways that are true to yourself. As we continue to embrace the wisdom of "I rise above," let your inner voice be the wind beneath your wings, helping you rise above confusion and uncertainty. Trusting yourself is not just about making the right decisions, it's about making decisions that are right for you. Let's move on to the next principle. Armed with our intuition and a sense of confidence in our personal journey. Principle 7. Seek clarity through honest communication. Navigating through the murky waters of being ignored can often leave us guessing, but guesswork isn't a good foundation for any relationship. As the eloquent George Bernard Shaw pointed out, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. This highlights a crucial point. Assuming others know how we feel or that we understand their silence can lead to misunderstandings and missed connections. When you feel ignored, it might be tempting to mirror that behavior or withdraw into silence yourself. However, a more stoic approach would be to engage in honest, open communication. For instance, if a friend or partner has been distant, reaching out to them with sincerity can clear the air. You might say something like, "I've noticed we haven't talked much lately, and I'm wondering if everything's okay on your side. I value our relationship and just want to make sure we're good." This approach does more than just address the issue. It sets a tone of respect and concern rather than confrontation. It shows that you're not just reacting to being ignored, but actively seeking to understand and resolve the underlying issues. It's about breaking the cycle of silence with the strength of clarity and empathy. So remember, as we keep rising above with I Rise Above, let's not shy away from those conversations that could potentially mend gaps and deepen connections. Honest communication is a bridge built on the pillars of understanding and respect, and it's one of the most effective tools we have in maintaining healthy, fulfilling relationships. Let's continue to use our words to heal, connect, and elevate the dialogue. Principle 8. Maintain your virtue. In times when you feel ignored or sidelined, it's tempting to react in kind or let your standards slip to match the behavior you're facing. However, the Stoic principle of maintaining your virtue regardless of others' actions is crucial. As Epictetus wisely advised, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This quote serves as a powerful reminder that true strength and character are shown not by how we discuss our values, but by how we live them, especially under pressure. For example, if someone you care about starts ignoring you, maintaining your virtue means continuing to treat them with kindness and respect regardless of their current attitude towards you. It's about rising above petty reactions and maintaining a dignified composure. You could keep your interactions light and polite, perhaps injecting a bit of humor to show you're keeping things in perspective. "Hey, just wanted to make sure you hadn't turned into a statue. You've been so quiet." By doing so, you not only preserve your self-respect, but also leave the door open for the other person to re-engage without resentment or awkwardness. Maintaining your virtue in such situations acts as a testament to your character and often inspires those around you to reflect on and possibly adjust their own behaviors. So let's embrace I Rise Above by living out our highest values in all interactions, regardless of the circumstances. Maintaining our virtue isn't just about staying true to ourselves, it's about leading by example and fostering an environment where respect and kindness prevail, opening pathways to deeper understanding and reconciliation. Principle 9. Visualize the ideal response. Have you ever reacted to being ignored in a way that you later regretted? It happens to the best of us. Stoicism teaches us to prepare for life's challenges by visualizing our ideal responses beforehand. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised, The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. This suggests that being proactive and prepared is key to maintaining our composure, much like a wrestler anticipates moves in advance. When you feel ignored, instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to visualize how the best version of yourself would handle the situation. Imagine yourself responding with patience, wisdom, and a touch of humor. For example, if a significant other is giving you the silent treatment, instead of letting frustration build, picture yourself saying something light-hearted yet poignant like, "We seem to be playing a game of who can be the quietest. I think you're winning, but I'm here when you're ready to talk." This method of visualization not only prepares you for actual encounters, but also helps reduce anxiety and increases your ability to manage situations with grace. By mentally rehearsing your ideal responses, you align your actions with your values, ensuring that when the time comes, your real reactions are measured, thoughtful, and in line with your principles. Visualization is more than just a mental exercise. It's a practice that enables us to transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and connection. By anticipating and rehearsing our responses, we can ensure that our real-world actions reflect our deepest values and intentions. This doesn't mean that every interaction will go as planned, but it does equip us with the tools to handle unexpected reactions with dignity and poise. Think of visualization like a rehearsal for a play. Just as actors rehearse their lines to ensure a flawless performance, visualizing our responses helps us articulate our thoughts and emotions effectively when the moment arises. This practice can be particularly valuable in relationships where emotions run high, and the wrong word or tone can escalate tensions. Moreover, using visualization to prepare for these moments teaches us a lot about ourselves. It helps us identify our triggers and the responses that don't serve us well, allowing us to cultivate healthier, more constructive reactions over time. Each scenario we visualize and each response we rehearse strengthens our emotional resilience and enhances our ability to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics. So as we continue to embrace the mantra, "I rise above," let's integrate visualization into our toolkit for handling being ignored or misunderstood. By preparing ourselves mentally for these challenges, we not only improve our interactions, but also strengthen our character. This approach allows us to handle life's slights with grace and humor, turning potential conflict into moments of learning and connection. Remember, every time you choose to respond thoughtfully, you're not just preserving relationships, you're also cultivating a stronger, more resilient self. Let's keep using visualization to refine our responses, ensuring that we meet each situation not just adequately, but with excellence. This is how we rise above, by preparing, practicing, and embodying the best versions of ourselves, no matter the challenge at hand. Principle 10. Detach from outcome. When you're ignored or overlooked, it's perfectly natural to hope for a specific outcome after reaching out or expressing your feelings, perhaps an apology, a change in behavior, or at least some form of acknowledgement. Yet, one of the core teachings of Stoicism is the art of detachment from the outcomes of our actions. The sage Epictetus famously said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This profound insight reminds us that while we can control our actions and intentions, the reactions of others are ultimately beyond our control. Consider a scenario where you've taken the step to communicate openly with someone who has been giving you the cold shoulder. You maintain your virtue, infuse humor to keep the mood light, and approach the conversation with kindness and clarity. Despite all this, the other person may still choose to remain distant or even completely unresponsive. In such moments, practicing detachment from the outcome is crucial. It helps preserve your inner peace and prevents feelings of discouragement or resentment. For example, if you reach out to a friend who has been ignoring you and they still don't respond, it's essential to remind yourself, I rise above. This mantra serves as a reinforcement that you've done your part well. It reminds you that their response, or lack thereof, does not define your worth or diminish the value of your efforts. Detaching from the outcomes of your actions doesn't mean you stop caring about the relationships or stop putting in effort. Rather, it means finding peace regardless of the outcome. It involves recognizing that your true happiness and peace of mind must come from within, not from the external validations or responses of others. This detachment is not an act of indifference, but a practice of equanimity. It's about accepting that we cannot force people to act as we wish, but can only control our own actions and reactions. This realization frees us from the often exhaustive cycle of expectation and disappointment. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our attitudes, our integrity, we align ourselves more closely with Stoic principles, leading to a more serene and contented life. Moreover, this practice of detachment enhances our relationships. It allows us to interact with others in a way that is free from pressure, manipulation, or undue expectation. People are more likely to respond positively when they don't feel coerced or expected to act in a certain way. Detachment fosters a genuine environment where relationships can thrive on sincerity and mutual respect. As we continue to embrace I rise above, let us strive to detach from the outcomes of our interactions. This approach not only preserves our inner calm, but also empowers us to persist in our values and virtues, no matter the external circumstances. Remember, it's not about the response you receive, but the dignity and peace with which you handle the situation. By focusing on our actions and letting go of our attachment to specific results, we not only achieve greater personal tranquility, but also open ourselves up to the true essence of Stoic freedom, living in harmony with whatever life presents us. And there we have it, friends, our journey through the 10 Stoic principles on how to handle being ignored, each one a stepping stone towards greater resilience and understanding. We've delved deep into maintaining our composure, communicating effectively, and detaching from outcomes, all while holding our heads high and spirits unshaken. Thank you to each of you for sticking with us to the end. Your engagement and presence truly transform this community, making it a strong and supportive space for all. Now I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Share with us a time when you were ignored and how you managed to handle it. Did you rise above? What valuable lessons did you learn from the experience? Your shared experiences are not only inspiring, but also help all of us to learn and grow together. If today's message struck a chord with you, don't forget to embrace and share our mantra for the video, I rise above. Drop this phrase in the comments to demonstrate that no matter the situation, you choose to rise above the negativity and challenges. Your comments serve as a beacon of inspiration for others and help spread the powerful message of resilience and inner strength. If you haven't done so already, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from a bit of Stoic wisdom on handling being ignored. Remember, each share extends the reach of our message and empowers more people to rise above their challenges. Thanks again for joining us today at Power Stoic Habits. Continue to embrace I rise above as we support each other on our journeys towards emotional freedom and inner peace. Until next time, keep rising above and shining bright.